Perhaps the earliest act of resistance against patriarchal systems and the masculine domination is not yet known to us, but undoubtedly the sense of woman life freedom, Jen Jian Azadi, has lived on for centuries in diverse forms. The world has been witnessing its finest and bravest women, men, and non-binary people who dared to take a stand against systematic discrimination in their societies. From factories of Massachusetts, Liberian counties, and Galician villages to streets of Buenos Aires, Istanbul, and Hanoi, female-led movements all around the globe have been demanding equal rights and justice for victims of countless oppression patterns. These movements, in several instances, have been joined by all gender identities, and the summation of forces against discrimination has led to significant achievements. Despite attempts of the extremist media to reinforce negative images of women and non-binary people in the majority Muslim countries, a plethora of influential activists originate from and reside in the Middle East. Similar to their Western peers, icons such as Nawal Sa'dawi, Ziba Mir Hosseini, Nagihan Akarsal, Tawakkol Karman, Foruzan Safi, and Fatima Mernisi have reshaped their societies towards gender equality, establishing a unique and intersectional course through educating marginalized and oppressed groups, composing manifests, and diligent activism. Women's rights activists and feminists in the Middle East have been fighting hand in hand against manifold discriminations in the region. Today, as the brave women of Iran and Afghanistan are stressing their demands on the streets while bearing the risk of being killed, imprisoned, or tortured, yet another unprecedented form of resistance is portrayed. The Mazani woman who spreads her arms wide to block live bullets. The Baluch woman who shouts on the streets every Friday for freedom and justice. The Afghan girl who refuses to leave the classroom. And the Kurdish schoolgirl burning her hijab to ashes are manifesting a treasured act of courage. Let us acknowledge this bravery by amplifying the righteous demands.
1.
To free all LGBTQIA2S+ and women's rights activists who have been fighting and defying the retrogressive policies of the brutal regimes.
2.
To immediately repeal all forms of discriminating laws and act against oppression of women and the non-binary people, including execution of all non-binary and women's rights activists, imprisonment, rape, and sexual assault as instruments of torture.
3.
To enact domestic law to ensure that acts of violence against women such as domestic violence and honor killing are properly defined as crimes, ensuring appropriate procedures for investigations and prosecutions and access to effective remedies and reparation.
4.
To protect the right of women and non-binary people to make autonomous decisions about their own bodies and reproductive functions.
5.
To guarantee the right to education, work, and participation in political and public affairs free from sex discrimination, opposed to the patriarchal measures.
6.
To protect freedom of expression and equal rights for all women, men, and non-binary people in all contexts, including politics, economy, and civil matters.
7.
To implement equal social security for all women, men, and non-binary people, such as equal wages, parental and retirement benefits. Now that once again the resonance of Jen Jian Azadi is being heard from every corner of the world, we, the Iranian Scholars for Liberty and collaborators, stand by women and non-binary people in Iran and Afghanistan in pursuing the above demands. Combating gender inequality, socioeconomic inequity, and other forms of systematic discrimination is an intersectional global fight and must be integrated in our daily lives. We have overcome many barriers, yet the long path towards justice for all human beings requires an unswerving course of action. Take a stand and join us in the fight for woman, life, freedom. In solidarity with all brave women, the Iranian Scholars for Liberty.